What's up, guys? This is Jesse DeRozier with Hydrilla Gorilla Guide Service here on Lake Guntersville. Today's date is November the 28th, 2025, and this is What's on the Deck. So first off, let me apologize about not getting a video up last week. I had to go out of state on Friday, got back really late on Friday night, and then had trips Saturday pretty much all day and Sunday all day. So I just did not have a chance to be able to get a video shot and uploaded. So I apologize about that. However, I guess the caveat to that is absolutely nothing had changed from the week before. We ran the same baits, same pattern, and the water temp remained exactly the same. So we've been running around that 62-degree mark. So if you think back a couple weeks ago in my last video, I was talking about we had a cold front come in, had dropped the water temps down to like that 57-degree mark. But we had a warming trend coming, so the water temperature climbed back up. It's been holding for the last week and a half pretty much around 62 degrees. And all of that's about to change. So some of the baits that we're using right now are going to continue on all the way pretty much through winter. And then a few of those lingering fall baits will probably start to settle back a little bit. And you'll see more direct wintertime baits starting to come into play as we continue to push these water temperatures back down into the low 50s and probably high 40s in the next couple of weeks. That said, let's go ahead and get started now on what baits we did use this past week out here on Lake Guntersville. So, as I had mentioned a couple weeks before, if I'm out and I'm searching for fish right now, the number one tool that I'm going to utilize is going to be a chatterbait. I'm going to pick up a chatterbait, put it in my hand, and cover some ground until I start to locate some fish. There's two chatterbaits that I've been using primarily. The green pumpkin shad is one. I'm pairing it with the producer Swimbaits cheetah, and the cheetah is a wing style bait, but if you notice, the wings have been snipped off of this one. That's one thing that I love about the cheetah, is that you can get two baits out of one. So you can throw it traditionally as like a hover style mid-strolling bait with the wings, or you can snip the wings off and get more of that rolling action if you're wanting something more like the freeloader. Works great as a chatterbait trailer. I wanted to have that freedom of the bait rocking without any hindrance, so I went ahead, not that it's going to make that big of a difference, but I went ahead and just snipped off those wings just to make sure that that chatterbait had as much roll as possible. That is one action of that chatterbait that's absolutely phenomenal, is that rolling action, and it pairs so great with that producer Swimbaits cheetah. The second bait that I'm using is one that I've been using for quite a while as well. And being that the bait's still holding up, I have not replaced the trailer on this. This is the green shad jackhammer with that spunk shad. Now, spunk shad traditionally can tear up pretty easy unless you make a couple of adjustments. One, on a jackhammer every time, I'm going to take a pair of dikes and I'm going to snip those two wire keepers. I'm going to snip the prongs down in half. I want about half of that material that's sticking out to actually hold this bait on. The reason why is because as long as they are, it tears the plastic as you push these trailers on. If you shorten them up, it doesn't tear it like that. Second thing that I'm going to do is make sure that I'm taking that Avid Anglers fishing glue and putting some of that on there. And that trailer has been on there for a long time. You can see the teeth marks in the trailer where the fish have rubbed their teeth up against that, and that trailer's still holding on strong. Traditionally, a spunk shad might last you 2 or 3 fish, and it's going to be tore up unless you make those adjustments. I've caught tons and tons of fish on that one that's still holding strong. Now, that said, I guess I'll go ahead and let you guys in on a little thing that's coming down the pike. If you're familiar with the Avid Anglers fishing glue, there's a new one coming out. This has been a test glue that we've been working on. And this one is pretty much, if you've ever seen Mend It, it's a similar product. The difference is that the application, we're hoping to be able to put it in this bottle instead of having to get out like a fingernail polish and having that big messy glop of stuff going everywhere, is to be able to have that on that spout, to be able to get a direct application exactly where you want it, be able to seal it up, have that spout cleaned out because it's got that little metal prong in the cap to keep that spout clear. Now, a couple of things about this one, which is absolutely phenomenal. It will not glue your fingers together. So unlike a traditional super glue, this one does not get hard. It stays soft and pliable. So it does not glue to your fingers won't glue to the bait. So if you're holding it together trying to get it to glue, because it takes about 2 minutes for it to do its full mend. But once it's done, you'll be hard pressed. If you got it lined up exactly back where it was, you'll be hard pressed to literally find the cut where that swim bait, frog, soft plastic, doesn't matter what it is, where it came and got torn. Now, the question is it going to be worth it? Well, again, for the drop of glue versus having, say, 7 swim baits or 7 soft plastics tear up on you and you having to buy a new bag for $10, $15, especially on some of these, like, say, the depth Sakamoto Shad, to be able to repair those and not have to replace them at $18 a bag, guys, that right there is going to be a godsend when it comes to that. This is going to save you a lot of money. This will be out hopefully in the spring. We're, again, doing some finalized testing on that, just making sure that we're not going to have any issues with the applicator, with the reaction between the plastic and the glue. So far, we've not had any issues, and that's what we're just making sure is ready to go. Next baits, everything right now has been focused on one aspect, and that is food. These fish right now are feeding up for fall, and they are eating shad like crazy. So everything on my deck has been shad oriented for the last couple of weeks. Again, my 4-wheel drive is going to be that blue minnow Swiminator by Producer Swimbaits. It's a 3.5-inch bait. It's on the Owner Flashy Swimmer, that 5/0 hook paired with a 1/4 ounce weight. That's the absolute best pairing I have ever seen to make a bait run absolutely true. The one thing that I make sure with this one is if you look at the nose of that little CPS spring in the nose, I replace it. It comes with a medium. Every one of these guys, if you want that bait to last, don't throw the medium. Buy you 1 packet of those large CPS springs. It costs you like $3.99 for 10 of them. Replace them. Take them off. Use them for something else. You can take those and use it to put, you know, a weight into a fit or into another soft plastic. You could do it to add a blade on the back of a Senko or whatever. Use that CPS spring for something else. Just don't use it for putting your swim baits on. You will tear the nose right out of that. It'll rip the plastic out, and that bait's done. Do yourself a favor. You will not have one of those rip out, I promise you, if you go to the large. Next bait is the one I'm running down on the bottom, and again, it's that blue minnow Swiminator by Producer. Running it on a 3/8 ounce jig head and getting it right down on the bottom. I normally run that on a Dirty Jigs underspin. I am completely out of those. I've got an order in the works right now to be able to get some more of those in. The next bait is the Alabama rig. Now the Alabama rig, I'm keeping it small again, guys. The water temps being what they are, they're still feeding on those little bitty baits, so I'm keeping these really, really small. As we get into colder temperatures, I got a treat for you. That's something that's has just become available, and you can get your order in for them now. But this winter is going to be absolutely phenomenal on an Alabama rig. And if you think I'm kidding about ordering them, you can tell I got a box full. My order just came in myself. So these are new product that Producers put out called Slim Sticks. And they are a soft plastic swim bait. They're not hollow belly. So your bait's going to get a full bite in that, but look at how soft that plastisol is. Now when I say soft, take one of your other swim baits and do this. See how many times you can twist it around. I'm going to do full rotation. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all the way around, guys. That was 10 turns, and that bait never tore. You talk about a soft absolutely soft plastisol. Now, what that equates to is action. The action you're going to get out of that tail, the kick that you're going to get, is going to be absolutely phenomenal paired up. You can run that on an underspin, you can run it on the Alabama rig, but as we get into these colder temperatures, as winter gets here, and we start going from these little bitty baits back to a normal 4 or 5 inch swim bait, those right there are going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's a 4.5 inch, so it pairs right in between the two sizes that we normally use in the wintertime. It's definitely going to be something that's going to be getting put to work this winter. My next set of baits is the jerkbait. Has started to get upsized now just because I'm needing to be able to get it down a little bit deeper. The fish have started to leave that 2 and 3 and 4 foot of water, and they are moving back out deeper as these temperatures start to drop. And as they drop, we're needing to be able to get down a hair deeper. So I went back to the Mega Bass Vision 110 plus 1. You can also do it with the Berkley Stunna 112 plus 1 to be able to get out there in that 6 to 10 foot of water and be able to get that right above these fish. You notice that was Pro Blue. A lot of blue. Blue, guys. That is my fall color. Blues and purples on Lake Guntersville are absolutely phenomenal. But again, right now, still going really small until these temperatures get down colder. So the 2.8 Kitech on a 3/8 ounce guppy head from Dirty Jigs. Again, rutting that down on the bottom. You can see the paint gets worn off every one of these that I throw, because I'm getting this out on the hard pan areas, out in the shell, and just running that literally right into the bottom, letting that kind of tick into the rocks in the shell. It'll create a little bit of noise, but they'll swim right down and suck that thing right up from the bottom. The one thing that I would say, guys, all of these baits that we're throwing are throwing around 10 million natural swim baits. And these fish know what they're eating. So if you're going to get bit and you're trying to get them to commit to your lure, do yourselves a favor, add a little scent to your bait, put some Thump Gel on there, and help yourself be able to get that fish to hone in on your specific swim bait and not one of the 10 million little natural swim baits running around. We're running that on all of these soft plastics. The next one is, again, that Dirty Jigs 3/8 ounce, and I'm going to the next size up. So depending on the shad that I'm getting around, some of them I'm seeing are really, really tiny. Others are a little bit bigger. So I've got a couple different sizes tied up with that same thing. This is I think it's like a 3 1/4 inch. It's the Reaction Innovations Little Dipper. So running that, basically the same thing like the Dirty Jig, or yeah, the 2.8 Kitech, sorry. The next two baits are both jig head minnows, and they're the last two lures that I've got for the day. This one, again, trying to keep with that little small profile, is that little Citron True Bass swim bait on that 3/16 ounce guppy head from Dirty Jigs. And the last one is, again, the Producer Swimbaits Blue Minnow. Again, sticking with that blue theme, shad profile of the cheetah. So got that paired up on just a little ball head jig with a loop knot, allowing for that to have as much freedom of motion and range of motion as possible. That's pretty much it for this week, guys. I hope this information helps you guys out this coming week when you're out on the water. I guess one other thing is I finally got me some hats made. So I don't know if any of you guys are interested in getting one, but if you are, hit me up. If you're here around Guntersville, we might be able to work something out to be able to get you one. I plan on selling them for probably about $25 a piece. But anyway, that being said, that's basically it, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Hope to see you out on the water. And until next week, tight lines.